So taking a moment to settle into a comfortable seated position, whether that's on a chair or on the floor. And then we'll think of our 7-point posture. So first thinking of the legs. So if you're on a chair, the feet can be flat on the floor. Or the tops of the feet can rest on the floor, but not to have your legs crossed. If you're sitting cross-legged, make sure that your hips are up a little bit higher than the legs and that the blood isn't being cut off in the legs. You can also put a couple of cushions underneath your knees if you need to. If they're starting to get sore, you can put cushions underneath here as well. And finding stability in the legs. And then the next point of our posture is the pelvis. The pelvis should be slightly tilted forward. So these Japanese benches are great for that. If you have some cushions, you can tuck them underneath your tailbone or have the cushions at a bit of a slant so that you're almost like sliding off the cushions. And then the spine is straight, so you can imagine the spine like a stack of coins, each vertebrae one on top of the other. And this is the most important point of the posture so that the energy can flow. And then there's a little bit of space between the arms and the body so the air can circulate. The right hand can rest in the left with the thumbs touching. The shoulders can be relaxed and the chin a little bit tucked in so that the neck is in one line with the spine. So too high and your mind will have a tendency to get distracted, and if your neck is dropping down, you'll have a tendency to fall asleep. So somewhere in the middle. The jaw is relaxed and the tongue rests on the roof of the mouth. So this stops saliva from building up. And then the eyes can be open just so a crack of light can come in. So you can start with the eyes open and then gently lower them. So you're not looking at anything in particular, just your eyes are gazing down at the floor. And then we can generate a positive motivation for this meditation. So we can think that we're doing this meditation as one of the many causes for us to develop our mind to its fullest potential. And the reason to develop our mind is because then we'll be perfectly suited to help others. We'll have the perfect stability of mind, the perfect wisdom, the perfect love, and the perfect power. And then we can benefit others in the best way. So that it doesn't become too abstract, we can think of some people in particular. So maybe some loved ones or people that we know that are struggling. We can think of the people affected by the fires in Australia and those in war zones or in poverty or in difficult family situations or victims of abuse. And we can think that we're doing this so that we can develop ourselves, so we can know how best to benefit those people and those beings. So now that we've generated this positive motivation, the meditation will be in 2 parts. So we'll have 2 20-minute sessions with a short break in between. So first, in order to bring our mind into the present moment, we can quickly scan the body. So noticing the soles of the feet, maybe where they touch the floor. And then the tops of the feet. And the ankles, noticing any sensation here. The calves and shins. Almost like you're feeling the body from the inside out. So if you're familiar with the anatomy, you can visualize that and feel all the bones and muscles. And then the knees and kneecaps. Notice any sensation here. Calves and shins. And then the upper legs. Then becoming aware of the pelvis and the hips. Noticing any sensations here. Then bring your mind to the spine. Again, you can visualize each of the vertebrae stacked one on top of the other and see if you can actually get a felt sense, a feeling of the spine. And then the abdomen, and the chest area. Noticing any sensations here, maybe how the abdomen and chest rise and fall with the breath. And noticing the shoulders. The upper arms and lower arms. The hands. Perhaps noticing where the thumbs come into contact. Or the weight of the hands on the lap. Then bring your attention to the neck. The throat. And the jaw. And noticing where the lips touch. Or maybe where the tongue rests at the roof of the mouth. Noticing the eyes and all the tiny muscles around the eyes. Becoming aware of the forehead, which is open and spacious. And then the crown of the head. And then becoming aware of the entire body. Noticing any sensations in the entire body. And then guide your attention to the area of the nostrils. And we're going to focus on the sensation of the breath at the area of the nostrils. So as you breathe in, just notice any sensation, maybe the cool air as you breathe in. And again, as you breathe out, just noticing any sensations here, the very subtle sensations at the area of the nostrils. So we're working on two skills here. The first is mindfulness or not forgetting. So we're not forgetting our object of focus. We're not forgetting the sensations of the breath. And then the second skill is introspection. So that's the mind that notices when you've drifted away, when you've been caught up in a thought. And so naturally the mind will get distracted and will drift away from the object. So each time it happens, the first thing to do is to be happy that you noticed. Give yourself a smile and then gently guide your attention back to focus on the sensations of the breath at the area of the nostrils. Each time you notice the mind has drifted off into a thought, or perhaps distracted by a physical sensation, the first thing to do is to acknowledge the distraction, acknowledge the thought. Be happy that you noticed, that you drifted off. And then gently guide yourself back to focus on the sensations of the breath at the entrance of the nostrils. So naturally, thoughts will come. So rather than following after the thoughts, and rather than pushing the thoughts away, instead we find a middle ground. We simply acknowledge the thought, and then guide yourself back to focus on the breath. So thoughts may still be there, but they're sort of like a conversation in the background that you're not really listening to. Background noise. And the breath becomes center stage. So you begin to notice the beginning, the middle, and the end of the inhale. The slight pause, and the beginning, the middle, and the end of the exhale. Focusing on the breath until only the breath remains. Just 2 more minutes. For the last 2 minutes, see if you can tie your mind to the breath with the rope of mindfulness. Now you can relax your mind, relax your concentration. We'll take a short break before we do the second part of our meditation. So if you'd like to stand up and stretch your legs, or readjust your seated posture, or take a stretch, now is a good time to do that. And then coming back to your comfortable seated posture, that can be in a chair or on the floor. Quickly scanning your body again, making sure that you're comfortable, that your spine is straight, and that you feel relaxed in the body. And so the second part of our meditation will be an analytical meditation. So we're going to visualize. So again, start just by becoming aware of the body, where you're seated on your cushion or on your chair. Quickly scan the body from the soles of the feet, the lower part of the body, all the way through the upper body, the arms, shoulders, in the head. And then just above your head, you can imagine a sphere of light. In the shape of a ball, a really bright and powerful light, like sunlight, directly above the crown of your head. And this light is made up of all the positive qualities. So compassion and love, tolerance and patience, integrity and strength and wisdom. All the positive qualities that you can imagine in a kind of energy, this radiant light in the ball above your head. So see if you can develop a sense that that ball is really there. All these positive qualities. And it's good to imagine the light really bright. You can imagine that the light starts to pour down onto you, going down through the crown of the head, through your central channel, through your spine, pouring down, filling your entire body with this bright, pure light. So you can imagine there's an endless flow of light just pouring down and completely saturating, completely filling your entire body. And anything you want to let go of, any thought patterns or negative habits, are completely washed away by this light. So you can imagine them leaving through the lower parts of your body, going into the earth and completely disappearing. So you can actually imagine it in the form of black tar or black smoke leaving from the lower parts of the body. And this bright light continues to pour down, streaming down rays of light or nectar. You can imagine it sort of shimmering. And it comes down around the outside, but also on the inside of the body, completely pouring down every single cell, washing the body. And any negative thoughts, negative patterns, anything from your past that you don't need anymore is completely washed away and leaves through the lower parts of the body into the earth, where it completely disappears. So for a few moments, we'll focus on this bright, pure light, very radiant and clear, and how it's just endless abundance, just pouring down, renewing itself all the time, completely saturating your body, sort of like a powerful hose or a strong shower. Clearing out every single cell in your body. So continue to visualize this. You can use these images. So as we continue to focus on this visualization, sometimes you can focus on the ball of light and all the positive qualities like love and compassion and kindness. You can also focus on the brightness of this light, like sunlight. And sometimes you can focus on how it's pouring down, the rays of light filling up, lighting up every single cell in your body. So just like if you turn on a light in a dark room, the light completely fills the room, just like that. This sunlight completely fills your body. And any negativity or darkness just completely disappears. Just like the darkness disappears when you turn on the light. And sometimes you can focus on the old memories, old thought patterns, old habits, which are leaving through the lower parts of the body, going down into the earth like black smoke or black tar. And once in the earth, they just completely disappear and dissolve. So keep your mind focused on any part of this visualization or the entire visualization for the next 3 minutes. Each time you get distracted, just come back to the visualization. Just 1 minute left. You can use the sound of the rain to help with your visualization, as if you're being washed from the inside out. Then you can imagine that this ball of light at the crown of your head, full of all these positive, calming, cooling qualities, starts to come down and enters the crown of your head and moves down through the central channel, all the way down past your throat, all the way down to the heart center, in the center of your chest. And then here it becomes completely one with your own heart, like water into water, inseparable. And your heart becomes this radiant ball of light. You can start off small, like a pinprick. You can imagine light coming through curtains on a sunny day. And this kind of light at the center of your heart gradually starts to expand, going out and out, filling your torso, filling your legs, your arms, your hands, your entire body, your face, until your entire body, every single cell, is glowing with this bright, pure light. And just holding that for a moment, imagining that pinprick of light at the heart just shining out and filling your entire body. And so this light at your heart is like a spring, a never-ending resource of light, of compassion, of love and wisdom. It keeps refilling itself. So the more that it fills your body, the more that it continues to provide more and more light. So you can imagine even that you're overflowing with this light. And then we'll use this positive energy that we've generated, we'll dedicate it to ourselves. And then also it can spread out to everybody else in this room. So you can imagine the light comes from your heart and fills up every other person in this room, so that they too are touched by the love and compassion in your heart. Then going out further, we can imagine that this positive energy goes out to anyone we know that might need a bit of extra care, maybe people suffering in hospitals, maybe homeless people that are on the street in times of heavy rain. Going out further to those affected by fires, we can imagine we're sending them cooling rain. And gradually the light continues to spread out and expand. Never-ending resource until it encompasses the entire world. And then we can dedicate the positive energy that we generated so that this meditation and all the effort that we've put in today to coming to all the classes, to listening, to reflecting, to discussing, all these amazing positive things that we're doing, maybe one of the causes for us to realize the true nature, the true potential of our own minds, so that we can be of most benefit to each person that we encounter. So then we can gradually blink your eyes open if they've been closed, and we can come out of the meditation. And we can recite the Shantideva prayer together.